What's up, people? Moses Smash back in the segment again. Today, I am going to talk about my Azolla. It has been a while, and I've been fighting with the regrowth of my Azolla since late last year, and it has been a real fight because I had no hopes of returning my Azolla. But now I have figured out where I was going wrong, and I want to share with you the do's and don'ts of Azolla. This my experience. This is not like a textbook video of what is supposed of how you are supposed to handle your Azolla, but I want to give you my experiences with Azolla. But before all of that, I want to tell you how this story started, how my Azolla started failing, because since last year there was a period of rainy season, and during that period my pond was filled with rainwater, and after filling with rainwater, you know what happens. The fertility of the water reduces, so that your Azolla growth starts reducing. The water started filling my Azolla pond. As you can see, my Azolla pond. This is the brim. This is the brim of the pond, but the water was overflowing. The water reached to the brim and started overflowing. So that started diluting the fertility of the water. So the Azolla was not responding well because the amount of manure was a bit down. So after that, most of the Azolla was washed away, and the remaining ones that remained in the pond started dying off due to lack of enough nutrition. So what happened? There was a growth of a certain algae. I didn't know the name, but it was a thick mucus-like algae that started dominating this pond, and that algae was bad news. I tried fighting it off. I tried removing it manually, but I couldn't manage to remove. So the first time I removed all this water. My pond contains my pond is around holds around 4,000 liters of water roughly, and it was a lot of work removing this water. So for the first time I removed the water and I removed all the Azolla. Then I put another fresh batch of water and another fresh batch of Azolla. But after a few days, there was the regrowth of the same algae that dominated this pond. And again, I was on the same spot that I was before I had emptied this Azolla pond. So that thing really disappointed me, and I decided after maybe 2 weeks or a month, I decided to empty this pond again. But this time, I emptied all the water and I removed all the Azolla. Then I waited for around 1 week so that the ultraviolet rays from the sun could sterilize this pond and kill off that algae. And then I put a fresh batch of manure, a fresh batch of cow manure. So after putting a fresh batch of cow manure, I increased the time. I also let the manure stay here for another like 3 days, so that I knew my pond there's nothing that was alive, because this thing contains it is inside a greenhouse. Apart from this place that I've opened to increase the airflow, the rest of this greenhouse is locked. So the air entry and this place, as you can see, this a net, so the air flows this way and goes and moves out of that window. That window is quite big. So after the second time, I put a fresh batch of water, and I decided to buy a new manure. I decided to buy Azolla. That was bad news for me because in this area I'm the supplier of this Azolla. So going to buy another batch of Azolla was a real pain to me. But I decided to do so because I had no alternative. I went and bought this Azolla from a farm that I had sold this Azolla earlier last year, and that was it. So after that, I put another fresh batch of water and that fresh batch of Azolla, and after a week, as you can see, my Azolla is almost filling my pond. there is still like another 1 week so that the population of the Azolla will become dense. But as you can see, things are not going on badly. So there are things that I have noted from that journey, and these are the things that I want to share with you. Number one thing is you have to make sure that the rainwater doesn't get in your Azolla pond, because if you let rainwater get in your Azolla pond, it will dilute the fertility in your water, making the nutrition not available to your Azolla. So you'll be having water, but that water is not fertile, so your Azolla will not having enough nutrition to grow. Another thing that I've noted regarding rainwater is putting a roof on top of your Azolla pond. As you can see, my Azolla is very clean. There is no leaves, there's no debris from the surrounding trees, because the leaves from these trees were falling on this Azolla pond, making my pond dirty, and there were leaves all over scattered in my Azolla pond. So putting a roof on your Azolla pond, I think, according to me, is very nice, because one, there will be no dirt, no leaves in your Azolla. Your Azolla will be very clean. And another one, there will be no rainwater that will be getting into your Azolla pond. So your Azolla pond, you'll have the freedom to control the amount of water in your Azolla pond, and that's a very nice thing, because you'll be able to maintain the fertility of your Azolla pond. Another thing is the depth of your pond. From my experience, if the depth is more than 1 foot, the Azolla will still grow, but not as well as when the depth is 1 foot or less. When you put when the depth is too much, the Azolla will be struggling to get the manure from the bottom of the pond, because when you're using manure, you put manure and the manure settles on the bottom of the pond. So the Azolla will start developing longer roots, and when the Azolla is having long roots, it's not desirable, because a lot of kgs is put on those roots. When you're harvesting Azolla like this one, as you can see, this one, the roots, as you can see, the roots in these the roots on this Azolla they are not too much. But when the pond is very deep, these roots become very long, like that. And when you harvest Azolla, much of the weight is on the roots, and the nutritional content of Azolla is on the leaves, so you don't get nutrition from those roots. So I think that's not a good thing, but some guys still do it, but that one is according to my experience. Another thing is the use of manure. Some people recommend using of raw manure, but I think, from my experience, I have used the raw manure. My Azolla did not perform quite nicely, and I decided to use not decomposed manure, but even dry manure, like this one. As you can see, this is the manure that I've been using. As you can see, this is just dry manure. It's not even well decomposed, but dry manure does magic for me, and that's what I've been using for a very long time. I decided once to use raw manure, and raw manure started killing off the Azolla, so I removed it and replaced it with the dry manure. So that's it. Another thing is after a long while, like for my case, after around 5, 6, 7 months, I replace the water in this pond, because when you keep adding more manure, the amount of silt and sedimentation at the bottom of the pond started becoming much, and there is a lot of silt on the bottom of the manure of the pond, and there will be no enough supply of oxygen. Another thing that I've noted is the frogs, but for me the frogs have not been a big deal, because if you manage your Azolla well, you'll be having enough Azolla for your livestock, your poultry, and even for the frogs. So that one is not a very big deal. So I think that's most of the things that you need to know, the do's and don'ts of Azolla farming. And that's it. Thank you guys. I hope you get education from this video. please like this video because it's going becoming a bit long. So please like and share and also subscribe, and I'll see you in the next educational video. Hope